I have a hunch. I have a hunch that one of the most difficult things in this world for you is having to wait for the desires and the dreams that you have, the things that you want in this life. And you are not alone. I deal with this myself all the time. It's just like, man, I have this dream of something I want to achieve, or I have this desire of something that I want. You know, maybe it's the mansion or the car, the Maserati, the Harley Davidson driving down the Pacific Coast Highway like I can see it. And I desire it so badly, you know, and as much as I want it, that battle between instant gratification and delayed gratification is a battle I deal with every single day. And I'm sure that you do too, because we're human. It's just the way it goes. We want what we want and we want it now. But why can't we have it now? Why does it seem like our dreams take so long to achieve? Why does it seem like sometimes our desires just never even happen? You know, and even when we have the desire and we start moving in the direction toward it, sometimes it just doesn't go the way that we want it to, you know, and it's so frustrating. We want what we want and we want it now. But I think what's really important to understand is something that I have learned in my life over time, over many, many failures, is that the journey is really important, and the timing at which something is supposed to happen in your life is probably the most important thing. Because I want you to think about it and think deep down and way back, maybe for some of you like me, when you had something that you desired and you ultimately had a plan for it in your mind, and you were trying to lay out that plan, like you had the blueprint, you know what you wanted, you know what steps you were going to take, like you had it all planned out. And it just did not happen the way you wanted to. A different route took place, or something that you didn't even think you wanted actually became more desirable than the thing that you were trying to bring into your life. Why did that happen? And why did you go through some steps in which you went down a different path? And because of the path that you took that wasn't your path, it landed you with something maybe even better or different at the right exact time. For some of you, it may be finding the love of your life. Maybe the path that it took to get to the person you were ultimately meant to be with was so strategic and so timed perfectly that it was a match made in heaven. Maybe you, at the time, when you wanted somebody in your life really bad, when you were desiring a relationship so badly, you weren't ready for one. And the person that you desired, you know, and you had this like checklist of things that you wanted this person to be like, did you even match up to that? Did you bring to the table the same things or more that you were trying to bring into your life from the person that you wanted as, you know, the love of your life, the person that you wanted to be with? You know, when you want to find love, are you ready to be loved? Are you lovable? Are you ready to provide to that person the same checklist or more from the checklist that you currently have? See, preparation for the things we desire is very important. Think about the job. Were you prepared for the responsibilities of said job? You might have wanted a job that paid you 6-7 figures, but were you ready for the responsibilities? Were you ready for the maturity? Were you ready to be courageous and possibly take risks and get outside your comfort zone? Were you ready to actually be on time to work? Some of you just have these little things that there's steps that need to be taken in order to become the person you need to be. And in order to take those steps, the timing needs to be right. And you need to have the right mentality to take the steps toward what you ultimately are trying to achieve in this life. So, quick story. When I was going to college, I was doing the before and after care at the YMCA, one of my favorite jobs in the world. I absolutely love working with kids. It's like my favorite thing. I've talked about it multiple times on my episodes. But what was interesting is as I was identifying what I wanted to do when I got out of college and graduated, ultimately I was like, you know what? I love the YMCA. I want to work there. and a wellness director position opened up at a local YMCA. Now, I've told this story on a previous episode, and I don't want this episode to be too long. So I'm not going to go down the whole story of it because it's absolutely fascinating, and the timing was perfect, and God's timing was impeccable. But what I also realized is it wasn't about getting the position and how that happened, but the preparation that I didn't have when I got it. See, in my mind, I saw myself in the position. I was at the YMCA all the time. I was introducing myself to people. Like, I was like, I am the perfect person for this role. My physical fitness is my entire life. I was personal training. I was strength training people. I was strength training even some sports athletes. Like, I was ready. I had managed in the military. I knew how to lead a team. I was like, dude, I'm so ready that I am perfect for this job, which was the right mentality to have. But the problem was, it was my ego that was saying these things. It was my ego that wasn't allowing me to see opportunities that were coming my way that were going to help me actually become a better manager, a better leader. I was turning them down because I didn't see them as opportunities. My ego was too big that I couldn't see a lending hand coming out. So what I mean by that is, when I got into the role, I got the job, and I had the massage therapist, that I was managing, all the group exercise, all the personal trainers. Like, I was in charge of everything, and I could handle that. But what I never really understood is how to handle money. I never really understood how to handle a budget. I never really understand how to have growth potential, in a certain area. I knew how to manage. I managed people. I felt like I knew how to do the personal training portion of it, but when you're a manager, you're not really wearing the hat of the actual job. It's just good to have the knowledge and skill set to identify how to empower others, but there's so much more that comes with it. Scheduling, didn't really know how to do scheduling very well. I was starting to realize that there were elements of this position that I still needed growth in, and that was going to come from experience. But here's the clincher. There were people that I knew that were in my life at that moment in time that could have helped me, that I've actually reached out to say, hey, if you need any help with this, I'm here for you. My issue is I turned them down because my ego was too large. I wasn't in the right mindset to see those things, to see these people as opportunities to help me grow, because I wasn't in the right mature mindset in order to identify them. I was thinking I got it. This is my plan. This is my path. Like, I got this. I'll learn on the job. I'll figure it out. Like, I don't need anybody's help. Like, my ego was running the show, and my ego ultimately was leading me to failure. I mean, I was really proud of the team, but I didn't really get a chance to really grow the department like I wanted to. And I didn't really get a chance to understand the managing of the budget and the scheduling. And as simple as those things could have been to fix, it was me. It was my mindset that led me to not allowing these things to happen. And what's interesting is, as I look at where I am now, years later, in another manager role, it's night and day, because I had to go through growing pains in order to become humbled and identify where I was weak, identify my limitations personally, become honest with myself within those limitations, and understand that I didn't have it all figured out, and I do need help. And I needed the guidance, and I needed the opportunities for that guidance to come into my life. And I remember when I realized that, after, having to leave the YMCA because it was ultimately going in the direction that was not going to be growth, I got humbled really quick. And I remember it was in that complete surrender moment where I said, you know what, I need to figure this out because I can't let this happen again. That everything changed for me. And I started opening my eyes to what it was I needed to fix in me deep down. And there's two different points to this. One, you got to remove your ego if you are trying to accomplish the things that you want in this life, because your ego is going to stop you from seeing the opportunities that God is sending your way. God is always lending you a hand. But the problem is that if you're not in the right mental mindset, you're not going to see them as opportunities and you're going to push them away. And you're not going to take advantage of the synchronicities that are being placed for you to succeed, because you're ultimately also not looking for them. Because you think that your plan is the right plan. You think that your blueprint for your life is the right blueprint, when if you just open your eyes and remove your ego, the right blueprint, the right path probably has always been right in front of you. You just never could see it because you were never looking for it, because you had your plan in place that was more important. And so when you start putting your ego aside and you are able to accept opportunities to come into your life and accept God's help and ask him for help, he will provide. And he surely did. I needed to be humbled. And after I got humbled, I had more opportunities where people were coming into my life, helping me along the way, educating me. I started identifying different avenues online that were empowering to me. I found videos on YouTube. Everything was just kind of coming along for me to be in a more mature mindset, that when I got a new opportunity at a marketing company, I didn't start as a manager, but I was offered the opportunity to become a manager. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, this is your second chance, and you got to do it right this time. And by doing it right, that means having faith and letting go and doing your due diligence, by accepting the opportunities, by acknowledging the resources and the educational pieces that are going to be provided to you and taking advantage of them. That's the intuitive action. When things come into your life and you take advantage of them because you identify them as opportunities to help you grow and develop, and not allow your ego to hold you back from what it is you are trying to accomplish, because that's exactly what's going to happen. And also understanding God's perfect timing in your life. You see, God's timing is everything, because God was preparing me for something next. Ultimately, I wasn't supposed to be at the YMCA for that long, because now that I look back, I see the steps that were being taken to get me to this point in my life, to have more of an identity of a person who acknowledges the synchronicities and opportunities that comes his way, to grow and develop, to ultimately get to the dreams and desires that I have. So by the time I align with them, because I become the person who's prepared and ready for them, and I'm not set up for failure because I think I got it. And my mind, is the one where the ego is telling me, you're fully ready, let's just get it now. But God's perfect timing, where I am aligned with God and I'm aligned with the identity of the person who's prepared for that next step in life, who's prepared for the dream and desire that I've ultimately wanted, that when I get there, it's going to be perfect. And that's the key. When you get to the point where you align, because you are in the identity of the person who's prepared to receive, your desire will be right. Your desire will feel right. And you'll be drawn closer toward the thing that you were ultimately supposed to be and do and have in this life, because the alignment of the identity of the person that you are is perfect for that thing at that time, and God timed it for you. God put you in position to have the adversities. God put you in the position to be humbled. God put you in the position to make difficult decisions, to say, are you going to trust me or are you going to trust yourself? Because what I have for you is much better than what you could possibly imagine. But if you want to go down your road and you want to try to do you. Go ahead. You're never going to understand what I've had prepared for you, because you're ultimately going to stay in your own control. And it's amazing the drastic difference in my life, because I let go. Because I didn't allow my ego to hold me hostage to the person that was so closed off from all the miracles and all the blessings that God was trying to bestow on me. To now, I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful because every single day that I'm in this role and every single day that I continue to learn, grow, and develop and see new opportunities of things I'm supposed to do, like doing these videos, I'm aligned. I'm the right person. I'm ready. I'm fit for the task at hand because I didn't try to control the situation and I was trusting in God's timing, and his timing is perfect. So guys, I hope this video, helps you out a little bit. The ego, it's devastating to what you want in this life. The ego will hold you back from being the true you need to be to get the things in this life that you want. And you'll feel it and you'll know it. And as soon as you let go of it, man, it's like a weight that comes off your shoulders, and you can take a deep breath and you'll be like, man, this is who I'm supposed to be. I'm ready. Let's do this. I'm ready. Let's do this. So guys, be ready. Go do it. Let go. Be free and get the desires of your heart, because that is what God wants for you.